Have you ever cried silently, so quietly that not even the people around you noticed, yet the pain felt louder than anything you've ever heard? Have you ever sat in a room full of people, smiling politely while your heart was breaking inside? Those tears, the ones you wiped away quickly so no one would ask questions, the ones you cried into your pillow in the middle of the night, the ones you didn't even understand. Those tears were seen, every single one of them, by the one who knows what no one else does, the one who hears what no one else hears, the one who is closer to your soul than your own breath. And while you may have thought no one was listening, Allah was, and He always is. Even when you can't speak, even when all you have left is a tear. That tear is not weakness, it is not wasted, it is not meaningless. That tear is a prayer. That tear is a turning point. That tear is a secret conversation between you and the one who created your heart, who knows how much it hurts, who knows why it hurts, and who is capable of healing it like no one else can. You see, we live in a world that honors strength on the outside, being tough, being silent, appearing unbothered. But real strength is not in pretending you're okay. Real strength is in choosing to turn to Allah in the middle of your storm, to fall apart in front of Him and say, I can't carry this anymore. Because in that moment, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable with your Creator, you're not giving up, you're giving in. Giving in to the one who never turns you away, who never grows tired of your voice, who never judges you for crying again and again about the same thing. And maybe people around you don't understand your pain. Maybe they say it's small. Maybe they say get over it. But your Lord never belittles what breaks you, never dismisses what disturbs your peace. And every tear you cry in His presence becomes a source of reward, of relief, of healing, because crying to Him is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. It's the beginning of surrender, the start of true strength, and even when your words fail, even when you can't describe what's tearing you apart, He understands, He knows, and He responds even to the tear that didn't fall. The pain you carried quietly for years, that's how close He is. And maybe you're wondering, but how long will I cry like this? Maybe your soul is tired of weeping. Maybe your heart is exhausted. And you've asked, when will it get better? But the truth is, every tear is part of the healing. Every sob is part of the journey back to Him. And sometimes your tears are not there to break you, but to cleanse you, to remove the weight you were never meant to carry alone. So if you're crying, cry, but cry to the one who hears every tear, who accepts every tear, who counts every tear. Because when you cry to Him, those tears water the roots of your soul and make it grow stronger, more faithful, more resilient. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize those nights of silent weeping were not wasted. They were the moments that softened your heart, that returned you to Him, that peeled away everything fake and left only sincerity. Don't be ashamed of your tears. Don't see them as failure, because those tears are proof you're still alive inside, still feeling, still connected to something real. And when your tears flow in His presence, they do more than relieve pain. They bring blessings you can't see yet. So if you feel alone, know this, you're not. Allah sees you, Allah hears you, Allah understands you, and you are not alone in your tears. You are seen, you are known, you are loved. And if that's all you have tonight, a heart that hurts and tears that fall, then that's enough. Just keep crying, but cry to the one who never gets tired of listening, Just whisper, even if your voice is trembling, even if the words won't come out clearly, just whisper your pain to him and watch how he slowly begins to carry what was crushing you. Watch how your tears become your prayers. Watch how your heartbreak becomes your return. You were never forgotten. You were never too far. And not a single one of your tears has gone unseen. Not one. Sometimes it's not the loud pain that hurts the most. It's the kind you carry quietly, the kind no one knows about, the kind you've learned to hide so well that even your closest friends don't suspect a thing. But deep inside, your soul is aching, your heart feels like it's been through a storm, and the only thing that keeps you from falling apart completely are those silent tears that you cry alone, late at night, or even in the middle of the day when a memory hits you, or when you feel overwhelmed by emotions you don't fully understand and you don't tell anyone, because how do you even explain the kind of pain that doesn't have a clear reason? How do you describe a sadness that's so heavy yet so invisible? And that's when you begin to feel truly alone, like no one sees you, like no one would understand you even if they tried. But here's the truth that your heart needs to hold onto. Allah sees every tear, even the ones you didn't cry out loud, even the ones you blinked back during a conversation, even the ones that fell silently on your prayer mat, and even the ones you carry deep in your chest that haven't yet spilled. And that alone is enough reason to breathe, to know that your pain isn't going unnoticed, that your tears aren't falling into emptiness. Because when the world turns its back, when the people you hoped would support you become distant, when your circle grows quiet, your Lord never leaves. He never grows tired of your pain. He never looks away, and He never tells you to stop crying. Instead, He listens, and not like people listen, not with impatience or confusion. He listens with full understanding, with mercy, with gentleness, with love. And maybe you've been told your tears are a sign of weakness. Maybe you even tell yourself that you need to stop crying and be strong. What if I told you that real strength is found in those exact moments when you turn your face toward the sky with your eyes full of tears and say, "Ya Allah, I don't know what to do, but I need you." Because that moment, that surrender, that's not weakness, that's faith. That's a soul choosing to hold on. That's a heart returning to the one who created it. And that's where healing begins, not in pretending to be okay, but in admitting that you're not in hiding your pain, but in letting Allah carry it for you. Your tears, they matter more than you think. They're not just emotional releases. They're sacred whispers. They're silent prayers. They're conversations with your Creator in a language no one else can understand. And the beauty of it is, you don't have to explain what you're crying about. He already knows. You don't need perfect words. You just need a sincere heart. Because sincerity is louder than speech, and a tear from the heart is heavier than 1,000 sentences. And every time you cry for the sake of Allah, in regret, in longing, in hope, it's counted. Nothing is lost. Not even the smallest tear. You may have cried alone, but your tears are never alone. They're witnessed. They're honored. They're collected in ways you don't see, and rewarded in ways you can't yet imagine. And yes, there may be days when you wonder, how much longer do I have to cry? How much more can I take? And those questions are valid, and they're part of the process. Don't ever confuse the delay in relief with a lack of love from your Creator. Sometimes the tears need to keep flowing because they're washing away the pain that words can't touch. Sometimes your heart needs time to open, to soften, to return, and those tears are the bridge between your suffering and your healing. And if you ever feel like your du'as aren't being answered, that your cries are echoing back in silence, just remember, even when you feel like nothing's changing on the outside, something is changing inside. Every time you cry to Allah, your heart is being reshaped, your soul is being revived, your faith is being rebuilt, and sometimes the greatest transformations happen in the most hidden ways. You don't always feel them immediately, but one day, you'll look back and realize that the nights you spent crying were the nights you were being carried. So keep crying, but cry with purpose. Cry with hope. Cry knowing that your pain is not pointless. Cry knowing that your Lord is not distant. Cry knowing that your tears are planting seeds in paradise. Cry knowing that even if people never notice your sadness, Allah always does. And if today all you have is pain, let that pain be your connection. Let your heartbreak be your bridge. Let your sadness be the reason you return. And don't hide your tears from the one who already sees your heart. You're not a burden. You're not weak. You're not alone. You are loved, you are remembered, and your tears are precious. So when the world grows silent, and your heart begins to ache, and the weight feels too much to carry, turn to Him, whisper to Him, cry to Him, and believe with every trembling breath that you're not alone in your tears. You never were. There comes a moment in every soul's journey where words fail and only tears remain, where you reach for strength and all you find is silence. And in that silence, your tears become the only language left, not because you're weak, but because you've reached the deepest part of your pain, a place words were never meant to reach. And in those moments when you feel like breaking, that's when your heart is closest to the one who can rebuild it. And maybe you've cried over things you can't even explain anymore. Maybe you've cried over people who left, or promises that shattered, or dreams that didn't survive. And maybe you've cried without knowing exactly why, only that something inside felt broken, something inside felt lost. And that's okay, because your Lord knows what you're crying about even when you don't. And even when you don't understand your emotions, He understands your heart. The tears you cry in the privacy of your room, or during prayer, or while sitting at a traffic light trying to hold it together, they don't fall unnoticed. They don't go unseen, don't disappear into the air. No, they rise, they are carried, they are heard. And most importantly, they are cherished by the one who never gets tired of your tears, who never says, "Not again," who never rolls his eyes when you return for the 100th time with the same pain. Because unlike people, Allah never grows weary of your need for Him. He never gets tired of healing you. Even if you keep breaking in the same place, even if your heart keeps circling the same wound, every time you cry to Him it counts. Every time you whisper, "Why ya Allah, please," it's record me. Every time, sit with your sadness in front of Him. That moment becomes a moment of reward, of mercy, of deep spiritual connection that can't be manufactured any other way. And the more you turn to Him with your sorrow, the more you begin to feel something shift. Not always externally, but within you. A softening, a grounding, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, you're not doing this alone. And you're not. Because behind every tear, there's a chance to heal. Behind every moment of sadness, there's a door to peace. Behind every H is an invitation, not to despair, but to return. And the deeper the pain, the deeper the return. The lonelier the night, the louder your prayer. The quieter your soul becomes, the clearer you begin to hear the one who's always been near. Sometimes we try to fix everything ourselves, thinking we can hold it all in, carry it all, suppress the emotions so we don't appear weak to the world. But what if I told your tears are not weakness, they're worship, not shameful, but sacred? What if I told you that each tear you cry with a heart full of longing for relief or forgiveness or just peace, those tears are seen, counted, honored, and elevate. They're more than emotion, they're action. They're remembrance, they're proof that your soul is still alive, that your heart is still connected, even if just by a thread. And that thread is all you need to hold on to Him. He doesn't ask for more than what you have. He doesn't expect you to be perfect. He doesn't demand that you never cry again. What He asks is sincerity, and that can come through a single tear. One drop from the eye, when it comes from a sincere heart, can erase what you thought would define you forever. And even when no one else sees your progress, when no one celebrates the fact that you chose to cry to Allah instead of collapsing into the world, know that the angels saw it. Know that your Lord appreciated it. Know that your soul grew stronger even when your body felt like falling apart. Because crying to Him is never a sign that you've lost. It's the sign that you're on the path to finding everything that truly matters. And maybe you've been waiting for someone to understand you, for someone to ask if you're okay, for someone to see beyond your smile. And if that hasn't happened, let this be your reminder. Allah already knows. He already sees. He already understands more than anyone ever could. And your tears, they're not in vain. They're not wasted. They are transforming you in ways you cannot see yet. They are preparing you for prayers that will be answered, for strength that will rise, for light that will return. So cry if you need to, and cry as often as you need, but cry in the direction of healing. Cry with purpose. Cry knowing you are not alone. And when the pain feels like too much, when your chest feels tight and your eyes sting and your thoughts spiral, pause, close your eyes, and just say His name. Say it with whatever breath you have left. Say it between the sobs. Say it in the silence. Why Allah? And with that, begin again. Not with force, not with pressure, but with love. Because He is not distant, He is near. And He sees every one of your tears. Have you ever wondered why some nights your heart feels heavier than others? Why certain memories suddenly return? Why the tears just begin to flow without warning, as if your soul remembered something your mind forgot? And in those moments, you feel so vulnerable, so fragile, and you think to yourself, why am I still crying about this? Why can't I just move on? But the truth is, those tears are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign that your heart is still healing, and healing is never linear. It doesn't follow a perfect timeline. And sometimes, just when you think you're past the pain, Allah reminds through a single tear that there's still something inside you that needs Him. And that reminder, however painful, is actually mercy. Because a heart that still cries is a heart that is still alive, and a heart that turns to Allah in those private, messy, emotional moments is a heart that will never be abandoned, no matter how many times it has broken before. You see, the world teaches us to dry our tears quickly, to hide our pain, to stay strong in public and deal with emotions in silence. But your Lord does not expect you to suppress your tears. He welcomes them. In fact, He honors them. He sees them as moments of surrender, moments of sincerity, moments when your soul finally admits what it has been trying to carry alone for far too long. And there's no shame in that. There's no failure in breaking down before Him. There's only beauty in returning. Maybe you've spent years building walls around your heart just to survive, trying to act like everything's fine, trying to convince yourself that you're okay. But when you come back to Him with tears, you're not falling apart. You're falling into safety, into comfort, into His mercy, and that is where your soul truly belongs. And maybe right now you feel like no one gets it. Not your family, not your friends, not even yourself sometimes. And it's hard to describe the weight you carry because it's not just one thing, it's everything. And when you try to explain it, the words get stuck in your throat. But that's the beauty of crying to Allah. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. You don't need to make sense of your emotions because He already knows what you're feeling even before the first tear falls. And when you turn to Him, even if all you can do is cry, you've already begun to heal. The healing doesn't always start with big changes or loud breakthroughs. Sometimes it starts in a quiet room with a quiet heart, whispering through tears, "Hey, Ya Allah, I don't know how to fix this, but I trust You." And that trust, that surrender, it's powerful. It's transformational. It's the beginning of everything your heart has been searching for. And maybe you've asked yourself 100 times, when will it get better? And maybe it's hard to believe that joy will return, that peace is even possible again. But your tears are not just marking pain. They're watering the seeds of your future healing. They are softening your heart, making it more sincere, more connected, more prepared for the light that is coming. Don't underestimate what's happening inside you right now. Every tear is a step forward, even if it feels like a step back. Every moment of sadness is pulling you deeper into your return to Him. And every return, no matter how small, is beloved to Him. You're not being judged for crying. You're being loved for trusting Him with your sadness. You're not being told to be silent. You're being invited to speak to the one who hears it all. And the best part is, you don't need perfect timing. You don't need to wait until you've calmed down or feel spiritually strong. You can return to Him right now in the middle of the storm, with tears on your face and pain in your chest and thoughts that are all over the place. And He will still receive you with mercy. He will still respond to your broken whisper. He will still hold you through the pain. Because His love isn't based on how stable you feel. It's based on how sincerely you turn to Him, even in the most unstable moments of your life. So let the tears fall. Let your heart speak. Let the weight release. And know this, you were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. Not a single tear of yours has been wasted. And maybe, just maybe, this pain is leading you to a place of healing you never imagined possible. A place where you look back and realize that every tear had a purpose, that every night of crying brought you closer, that every whisper of Ya Allah, the help me, was answered in ways far deeper than you could see. And if all you have today is a broken heart and some hidden tears, that's okay. That's more than enough, because Allah sees every one of them, and you are never, ever alone. And now, as you sit with all that's been felt, with the weight of what you've carried for so long, and the pain that still lingers, somewhere in your chest. Let this be your reminder. The story is not over yet. Your tears were never a sign of failure. They were never wasted. And they are not just part of your sadness, they are part of your return. And Allah, the one who created you, the one who sustained you through the pain, the one who watched you cry when no one else even noticed you were breaking, He is still waiting for you to turn back to Him. Not because He needs you, but because you need Him. Because He knows that no amount of distraction, no amount of comfort from this world, no amount of pretending to be okay can ever replace what your heart is truly yearning for. Peace, and peace only comes from Him. Every tear you cried in secret was seen. Not one was lost, not one was ignored. And every one of those tears was a message from your soul, calling you back to the one who understands your silence, your sadness, and your struggles better than anyone ever could. It was never about having perfect words. It was never about having the right prayer. It always about having the courage to come back, even if all you bring with you is pain and sincerity. And maybe you've tried before. Maybe you've come back to Him many times and then drifted again. But that doesn't make your return less valid. That doesn't make your tears less meaningful. In fact, every time back, He loves you for it. Every effort, broken prayer, every whispered Ya Allah between sobs. It matters. It reaches Him. It heals something in you. It writes something beautiful in your book of deeds. And you may never fully see the impact of your tears in this world. You will see them when it matters most. When you meet the one who counted each one of them. So don't stop crying. That's what helps you release the pain. But don't cry into emptiness. Don't cry without direction. Cry to the one who can hold you through the pain and guide you out of it. Cry to the one who turns weakness into strength, sorrow into peace, distance into closeness. Your tears are a bridge, not a breakdown. They are a form of worship. They are your return. They are your prayer. And Allah, in His mercy, accepts them. Even when your words fall short, your tears speak. Even when you don't know how to explain what hurts, He already knows. And in that knowing, there is comfort. In that nearness, there is healing. And in that healing, there is hope. So if you're still hurting, if you're still crying, if you're still wondering when the pain will end, know this: every single tear is bringing you closer. Every single night you cried yourself to sleep is building something in you, something unshakable, something beautiful. You don't have to feel strong all the time. You don't have to be okay every day. But you do have to remember that your Lord is not distant from your pain. He is the one who sees the wound before the tear falls. He is the one who listens even when your voice can't speak. He is the one who responds with healing, with comfort, with forgiveness, with light. So breathe. Let the tears fall if they need to. Let your heart speak. And let this be the moment you stop holding everything in and start handing it over. Not to the world, not to people who don't understand, but to the one who always does. Say it quietly if you need to. Say it with a heart that's breaking. Say it through your tears. Ya Allah, I need you. That's enough. That's your return. That's your healing. That's your beginning. Because even if no one else sees what you're carrying, even if the world never applauds your silent strength, your Lord sees you. And He is proud of you. He is near to you. He is waiting for your next prayer, your next whisper. So don't give up. Don't give in to the silence. Believe for 1 second that your tears are meaningless. Because you are not crying alone. You never were, and you never will be. Allah sees everyone. And He's never stopped listening. He's never stopped loving you. And He still wants you to come back now. Right here, just as you are. Just with your tears,